Hello, everybody, and welcome to the highly anticipated, long overdue, uh, biggest guide of all time, the Queen of Pain, the QoP guide. This isn't the Rickroll, this is for real. The wait is over. Today I'll go over everything I know about Queen of Pain and then some. I'll probably even figure something out on the way because I'm just such a beast at learning and teaching and all that. So, without further ado, let's move on to the QoP guide. As you can see, this is the in-game guide. I will link to it. Has all the items in the build. I'll explain all these in depth in the video too. There'll be timestamps, all that good stuff. I don't think I'll write anything in here, but just in case. I have a few notes for some neutral items, like always take the shovel. This is broken. You might even keep this at tier 4 sometimes. It's probably better than all tier 3s just because how it works with the dagger. Show that in game as well. This is the default skill build. I will try to mention in games where you might want to level dagger in lane. But that'll be from experience and stuff like that. It's not as simple as, every game do this. But if you're not sure, this is the build you pretty much want to go. Yeah, without further ado, here is Queen of Pain. Let me go to the hero list, actually. Okay, so first things first. Abilities. We have Succubus. The innate ability changed. You get lifesteal on your spells the closer you are to enemies. 300 units is like Luna attack range or so for the max spell lifesteal. 800 units away or further is really far away. Don't worry about it. It also lifesteals on the ult, so it offsets a decent amount of the damage you will take from Masochist, but you do reflect 27% now, so you do reflect a little bit more to yourself. You still get 14% spell amp. This is the default facet. I do see a handful of people, not a lot, a handful, trying out Bondage QoP, which instead of getting the 14% spell amp almost for free, and dealing damage to yourself, you get more healing. You do actually. You get a bit more healing because you reflect damage as well. So, sorry. It'll make it so if you blade mail magic damage or pure damage, it will heal you as well. On top of the fact you get the old passive, which was the old innate, where spells cast onto you default reflect 15%. So you have like a built-in passive blade mail for spells. I could see it being like a situational thing with blade mail against just a lot of magic damage, like a Leshrac, Tinker. There's like probably a few like really heavy magic based lineups where this could be good. But default for sure, like 80, maybe 90% of the time, the extra spell amp for Masochist helps you so much. It helps you farm, helps you secure kills, which is also farming. Lets you basically basically the best way to understand Masochist, okay, is Dagon gives 7 all stats, 15% spell lifesteal, and 400 damage. You're gonna be like, that's not a lot. Why would I want a Dagon? Well, imagine if this also said 14% spell amp. That's pretty good. That's more than a Kaya, right? So, because you need to buy Dagon with the Masochist facet, you can kind of think of it as Dagon gives you spell amp, since it'll be the first item you purchase anyway, sometimes even before boots. This will offset pretty much all damage you'll do to yourself. The healing is nuts. It also makes you quite tanky. Like 7 stats is a decent amount of HP, 150, and then you also get 7 more strength from the talent, and you'll also have a wand and all that good or not a wand. Oh, I can't sell from here anymore because of the new thing. All right. Also because treads. But let me spawn in some classic heroes. Classic heroes. I'm going to go over lane counters really quickly while I go over abilities.
On and on again.
Okay, monkey. These are very classic mid heroes. They're picked a decent amount right now. Missing one. We'll just start with these for now. I'll also put in Pango as a bit of a weird one. I'll probably get rid of these soon. Matchups you don't really want to play against, it's really annoying to play Queen of Pain against Ember Spirit or Puck because he can dodge your spell like that. Even, you know, sorry, even Scream of Pain, he can dodge Scream of Pain. It also does 1 billion damage to you. The root is annoying. You can't blink during root. Same thing with Puck. He can dodge your spells. Did I level phase shifts? I think it's bugged. Hold on. Yeah. My hockey on Puck is bugged. That's fine. So, same thing here. Hockeys. I believe he also heals with the innate dodging that. I don't think the Scream of Pain necessarily counts as a heal, but you get the idea. Both of them have a way of locking you down or silencing you so that you can't blink away. They have ways of interacting with your spells aren't good for you, even landing your ult. If Ember's Sleight of Fisting during it, he's going to be invulnerable. Not so good. These two here, Monkey and Pango, I find them annoying to lane against, specifically Pango, but you're good against both of them in game. And it'll be the rare time where you're going to level more than 2 or even like 3, sometimes 4 in Shadow Strike. Because Monkey King can't jungle. He can only roam around. And he can't lane against Shadow Strike. Level 1, 2, and 3, he might get the Jingu going. He might out-CS you with his better animation, his faster attack speed, the amount of stats he has. Especially if you're going a dagger build with Blink. You don't have Scream or something like that. But the harass adds up, and then he just stops being able to deny you. Pango trades pretty well with you and CS's pretty well, but your ult just completely hoses Rolling Thunder. So if he's rolling in my direction, it really ruins his ult, as you can see. And that's even with Thunderbolt. You can move out of the way of his first stun, and it pushes him away. Very, very good. Same thing with Monkey King, right? Like pushing him away during his BKB is really annoying. I would say the Storm QoP matchup is a lot more even, and I typically go 2 in Shadow Strike if I'm doing well in the early waves, otherwise I'm just going Scream, because Storm can dodge your spells with his ult, right, but he doesn't get it until 6, and whoever gets 6 first generally wins that lane matchup, or gets a little bit more help from the supports. It can go either way. Mostly a skill matchup. Whoever gets more denies, more CS early on, really is going to get to 6 first, and then maybe even land a solo kill. Blink level 1 does not save you from a full mana Storm. Similarly, a level 5 Storm can't do anything to Sonic Wave if Queen of Pain has mana. So that's like the lane matchups in a nutshell. I recommend almost every game to do the build I have in the guide, which just maxes the E. But if you are doing well early, it's more of a reason to take Shadow Strike, and it has been buffed multiple patches in a row, so it's a much better playstyle now. I'm gonna look you in the eyes as I say this, but please subscribe. As far as like tips and tricks with the abilities, there isn't too much to go over. Aghanims is interesting. Every time you reapply Q, it'll shoot your Scream of Pain out. This is nice, but very... It's like hard to know when to build this, okay? So it feels really good if you can walk up and cast this like twice, right? But Queen of Pain as a hero, you typically like playing far away and interrupting their jump with Sonic Wave or jumping on the backline supports. And this is more of a like frontline caster type of thing. If they have a Puck or an Ember on their team, and you walk up to press your Q with Ags, and they root or coil you, you might just die. And you might be Mage Slayered by an Ember. It could be pretty bad. Whereas, like, you know, if they have Pango and Monkey King, a bunch of melee heroes that can't really jump you, they can't do much, and you can spam your Q a lot, it makes a lot more sense. Typically, I'm not really going for the Aghanims too much, nor am I going for the Shard, same idea. Shard is great if you're getting solo kills with it or something, but blinking in is a big no-no. If you've played any sort of Ember or Puck, and exhausting your last escape, like not having a Remnant behind you after you Remnant in, or using your blink and your orb and just being caught without any escape is the worst feeling. 6 seconds is a long time if you blink into 5 heroes or if you blink into the backline.
Oh, yes.
And 1.5 second silence or whatever it is, 1.75 is not enough to like full kill somebody a lot of the time. It is nice for a little bit of wave clear. It's nice later on, but you are going to be wasting your escape to try and get more damage instead of just playing in the back. With the 45-second Sonic Wave cooldown and an Octarine, you can get 2 ults off in a fight pretty easily, especially if you start the fight out with one during their BKBs. If you stay alive long enough when their BKBs are over, you're kiting them, it's great. Even a refresher. There's just a lot of stuff you can do by just staying alive. You're a kind of like a weird mix of like a backline spellcaster that can kite heroes, or somebody that can jump a pesky oracle in the back if the fight's already started. You can use your mobility to your advantage, and you rarely ever want to jump into 5 heroes. Sometimes, because you're so tanky, it's fine for you to get jumped, especially if you have some help from an Abaddon or something like that to, you know, make sure you get your blink off, or you have your BKB and you can kind of break out of their combo. But that's a more risky thing to do, obviously. You kind of want to be the main character damage dealer on this hero and not so much like a tank. Furthermore, on like when to pick Queen of Pain is just when you need like nothing but damage. You don't need control, you just need damage. You have a lot of stuns in your team, you don't have any damage. Puck does way less damage than Queen of Pain in the first 30 to 40 minutes of the game. A 6-slotted Puck with, you know, an Ags, Refresher, or just Octarine Core, Parasma even, plays in a similar style to Queen, where they wants a really long fight, does damage, and is pesky to kill. I don't know why the Tormentor always spawns on me in this map now. But the main difference is, like, a late-game Puck is astronomically harder to kill than a late-game Queen of Pain, and can carry games by that alone. And in the early game, Puck can set up other heroes. Like, if you have a Leshrac support, which I've seen a decent amount, you go for a Coil for the Edict, that's great. Whereas if it's Leshrac and QoP, it can be a little dicey. You're both damage and no setup. So just keep that in mind when you're picking your hero. I don't think there's necessarily really a bad Queen of Pain game. She's just a ranged damage dealer. But you really want to watch out for potential counters or lacking any sort of disables. A hero that can carry the early game really well from a strong laning phase, and also like do really well in the late game as well, but maybe not as, I wouldn't say not like powerful, but not as elusive later on. You definitely feel like it's much harder to just be blinking around late game. So, skill builds. This is always a controversial topic. I spoke about it a little bit earlier. I think, you know, the classic 2014 Dinosaurs Roam the Earth style Dota Queen of Pain was 2 Shadow Strike, 1 in Blink, 2 in Stream of Pain, and then max Stream of Pain, sometimes not even leveling ult because maybe you'd be low on mana, but usually ult at 6. These days, we have a lot of mana. We can bring some clarities, some mangoes, maybe get a bottle, I mean, there's a little less mana this patch. There's not 3-minute bounty runes, and there's no bottle fills from your supports, but you can get a shovel. You can pretty much always cast your ult at 6. Null Talismans give you a decent amount of mana regen, a lot more than they used to. You'll probably have stick charges. There's just a lot more going on. You'll pretty much always want to have your ult at 6, unless you really need an extra point in something else. And I would say the default build is maxing Scream of Pain as soon as possible, just for farming. And it does a lot more upfront damage as well. Like normally, like a level 1 ult is what, 400 pure damage, and then this is 340 magic. That's usually enough to TP to any side lane and get a kill or two, or even kill the guy you're laning against. Whereas the dagger is specifically for lane matchups. So if you deny every creep on the first wave against a storm, I'm probably going to get 2 points in Shadow Strike and go the 2-1-2 build. Sometimes I might even get 3 if I'm just doing that well. The third point will grief you a lot harder than the second point. So getting Scream of Pain maxed out by level 8 doesn't feel nearly as bad as having to wait for level 9 or even like level 10 sometimes if you got 4 in Shadow Strike. The third point really commits you to kind of farming your lane and not really getting any jungle camps. And sometimes even less kills in the sides if the dagger is just not enough upfront damage. They TP you out or something. Now, when you do 100% want the dagger, is against heroes that get really griefed by it, like a Monkey King, right? He can't jungle, like I mentioned earlier. He has to sit in the lane CSing. He has no other option but to just eat daggers or roam around the map. You kind of Huskar him in that sense. Pango can nuke out waves, so it's not... the third point can be really grief. There's one more. Oh, Primal Beast is another weird one. Primal can nuke out the waves, but his trample does movement speed-based damage, so, you know, that's just great as well. Other heroes, like if mid Sand King ever becomes a thing again, Earth Spirit, I don't think he'll become a mid anytime soon. Earthshaker's another one, which, like, he doesn't jungle very quickly, and you might lose on CS a little bit, but you can get 2 to 3 points of Shadow Strike. So on and so forth. Just keep in mind, if you don't know what to do in the matchup, just max your E. Just max your E, you'll be fine. Play for your own game, get your own farm, get a decently timed dag in, get some kills in the side lanes. You're not required to win your lane on this hero anymore. Make sure you have like a good 4 to 5k net worth at 10 minutes by just farming your lane, maybe farming these 2 camps at some point, or just casting your ult on a side lane every time it's off cooldown, getting some good rotations in. As far as talents go, because that's a little more controversial than the skill build, I would say. I think I always get strength. This used to be, I think, damage, and then at 15 it was attack speed, and the attack speed was nice, but I pretty much always get strength right now, and then the Shadow Strike damage interval, which is especially nice if you manage to get... I mean, even without it, the Searing Signet is ridiculous. So this hero is level 30. This will be permanently applied to them every time the dagger ticks. So every time the dagger ticks, it does a 75 more damage. That's kind of crazy. It kind of like doubles the damage on it in a way, even though the it happens every 3 seconds, every 2 seconds with the damage interval, so you don't get full value out of it, but that's a long time to get Searing Signeted. So you really want that. That's like almost free win when I play this hero. Kind of like getting Brigand's Blade on Pango back in the day, even kind of now after the nerfs. Some of these items just synergize so well with certain heroes, and it's so important to look out for them. At 20, Scream of Pain damage can be good if you have Ags. If you don't have Ags, even if you do have Ags, the Sonic Wave cooldown is almost always better. So you might say, oh, but I want Wave Clear by having Scream of Pain damage. Well, with a 20-second ult, I mean, you're just going to clear the waves with your ult, right? You can ult a Creep Wave, get to a team fight, and it'll be almost up already. Like, it's really not a big deal.
Your top tower is
So just keep that in mind. Similarly, Blink cooldown is nice, but 250 wave damage, your ult is your most important spell. It's one of the few BKB piercing pure damage spells in the game, and especially if you can get 2 of them. I mean, let me spawn a dummy target just to give you an idea of what even just the ults do alone. All right, these can move now, so maybe oh, one thing that I literally just forgot now that I learned like a while ago because I wasn't fully aware. You cannot use both ults at the same time anymore. It has to be one after the other, and it'll be like 2,000 pure damage to the whole team. As you saw earlier, because I mistakenly cast them both at once, it'll only do the first one. So be very careful with that. That's something that's like really important, like red alert, alarms, bells going off. Do not double cast your ult. Wait for it to end and then go again. Much, much better. Item builds. So this hero is pretty simple. I'll walk you guys through the item builds from basically level 1, okay? You're loading into the game, you're to buy your tangos, your wards, your fairy fire, fill up on some branches. If you don't want to place your ward right away, you can even buy a 4th branch, or if you just want the extra stat, that's fine. You're gonna get into a bottle. One of these branches will probably disappear, sometimes even 2 if you're hungry. Alright? After bottle, some lanes you want wand. Frees up your inventory space, build you some charges, because like I said, a lot of matchups you're going to need mana for your burst 6, and the wand charges, if you save them, will help you a lot for like the all-in kill at level 6. Similarly, if you're not against a hero that spams, that's fine. Buying a null talisman will give you a good mana pool as well. You're going to typically want these 3. Bottle first, try to get it before 2 minutes for the rune. Null talisman second if that's better than wand, or wand. And some games you're going to buy a raindrop. I almost always buy one these days, but like if you're against Ember Spirit, there's no point in having a raindrop, right? So it's matchup dependent, but I love getting a raindrop. Raindrop, if they have any sort of magic damage, is amazing in the early game. Next, sometimes you can go treads even before the wand after null talisman or something if you're just really crushing on the CS. If you have a bajillion denies and you're getting to harass them a lot with auto attacks, this pays dividends if you're doing really well in lane. Otherwise, I would only get brown boots if you're planning on using your ult on sides. Like, let's say you're getting level 6 soon, and you don't think you're going to solo kill mid. Maybe you got Huskard and it's scary, or you're against Ember Spirit and it's like impossible to land your ult on him because he's 6. Maybe we buy boots, we go to another lane, get some kills, and then we have boots to walk around, maybe get some more runes, go to the camps a bit more. Just, we're moving around a bit more, so we're going to buy boots. In a lot of matchups these days, I'm crushing it on QoP. They can't lane no more, they have no future. I don't even go brown boots, I just buy a straight up Dagon because it is such a huge power spike to have that extra 400 damage and your spells heal you again. It's like an unbelievable power spike. The other benefit to this, and I'm going to make a Pango enemy in a second. Let me remove these guys. Let me just get the Queen of Pain a little low here. I'm going to Dagon this wagon. That rhymed. And I'm going to get full HP. Sometimes it's better to Dagon a creep just to heal the full. It gives you an amazing amount of sustain. You only basically have to worry about mana regen once you have one. You don't only have to use it for kills like I just showed. It one-shots big creeps as well. You don't want to use it for farming. It's not the most efficient tool for just farming, but if you do need HP, like if it heals you and helps you farm, that's much better. If you're full HP, maybe just auto attack, use your Scream of Pain because it hits all the camp or all the way, you know, bada bing, bada boom on that one. But after that, almost always treads. You'll be approaching level 10 at this point, getting a strength talent, and you'll be really tanky. Now, a lot of people either go Kaya into Shivas at this point or full Kaya Sange. I'm a big fan of Kaya Sange right now. Another item, like, mana costs are the most annoying thing on QoP. I think she has the highest mana cost of almost any Intero that, like, spam spells. Like, Pango's mana costs are lower. He's not even int, obviously, but Puck's mana costs are lower. Storm's mana costs are lower. Leshrek's mana costs are lower. Zeus's mana costs, like, everyone's mana costs feel like they're way lower, except maybe INVOKER or something, but huge synergy with the mana cost loss reduction and just HP, getting regen. I believe the spell lifesteal amplification was bugged, I saw on Reddit. I don't know if that's true or not, and they fixed it this patch, so that's even better with your innate ability and your Dagon. Just a lot of synergy from this item. After that, we have a lot of choices to make, okay? This is where the game kind of like develops into a beautiful mid game, maybe beautiful mid to late game. We're not sure what to buy next. Shiva's a good default. It's basically like 2 Dagon levels and 15 armor, and makes them take 15% more damage from spells for your whole team if you have it on them, or your combo. like essentially it's like buying the whole max Dagon without it being just like an insta target burst. It just, think of it as Dagon 5 plus more. It's 2 to 3 Dagon levels of damage plus the spell amp plus all the armor. If they have any sort of physical damage, even if they just have some healing, it's great. It also gives you vision, so if you're chasing people in the Fog of War, let it have backpack cooldown, sorry. Chasing people in the Fog of War, it's great, or you're just looking for supports in the back. I've won some games blinking behind the Roche pit. I guess they moved it now. Wow. Blinking behind the Roche pit even with Shiva's Guard and just showing them to my initiator, like an axe or something. Just like awesome item, really. If you aren't, like, this would be the standard build-up in most games into an Octarine core and then last item Refresher. This is kind of the dream scenario. The Shiva's slot, I would say, sometimes gets replaced by a Linken's. Maybe they have a Doom. Maybe you need a Black King bar. The treads can get replaced later for some other type of item like Refresher as well. Like, let's say you wanted VKB and Shiva's. Well, then you can get rid of your treads later or something like that. But if you don't need BKB, maybe you needed the Yules for a bunch of Orchids and Silences. That builds into a Wind Waker later. Maybe you want a Hex. Any sort of these situational items are typically built either after Kaya, so not finishing the whole Kaya Sange. I would say that, like, Dagon, Kaya, or Core. There's plenty of games I play where I go Dagon, Kaya, BKB, or even Dagon into BKB, depending if I need it really fast. Some games I even skip the whole Kaya Sange for Linken's if they have Legion Commander or something I just really need Linken's for. I don't typically buy Eternal Shroud that much this patch. I did include it in there in case you wanted to experiment with it a little bit. It got nerfed a lot, but it's still pretty good as like a mana tool. Like, if they have just nothing but magic damage and you don't need a BKB, it's kind of like a Shiva's replacement that's a lot cheaper in a weird way. Like, you would just be really tanky with this. It's still, like, good to include in the guide, I promise. It's not completely useless. Orchid, I bought once against a Storm, once against a Puck. It feels bad to buy it, because you're typically going to buy it after, like, a Dagon or a BKB. Like, it's going to be your third item usually, but sometimes you just need a Silence. Like, even against Ursa, against Slark. There are sometimes, and like I said with the Blink Shard, right? You don't really want to just blink in and bend over to the other team. It's not like you rather just silence them from across the screen or something like that. Parasma can give you a lot more single target damage. So Shiva's and Parasma work really well together. They both lower the magic resistance for basically your whole team, or just you. It's probably the highest DPS item single target wise on heroes like Queen or Storm or Puck, just because you can, like, poke with it. Like, you can just blink in, hit them, and then run away, or hit them, blink, run away. Like, it's really good at kiting. It's just 1,000,000 damage. I'll buy one right now just to show you how much one auto attack. Oh, I guess that went to my stash. Does to the Pango. I'll get max level as well, but 150 was that times 4 plus the auto attack. That's like, it's probably the most cost. It also gives some. It just gives so much. You used to just get Witchblade on QoP and build it later, but because of the Facet and the Dagon synergy, that's kind of been replaced. And you know when to buy a Hex. Sometimes I'll have Kaya early on and not finish the Sange. I have a BKB and whatnot, and instead of just getting the mana cost reduction, I go for the Kaya Yasha. More specifically, if I have the Agnum's build, just because you can cast this a lot faster. Did I get myself a Scepter? It's because of my inventory being full. Give me a second here.
Structures are fortified.
They've kind of changed this a bit. So this feels a lot better. Even casting your ult feels a little better. The rest of the spells don't really matter, but it's kind of a meme item. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's good compared to just saving mana, because I run out of mana in every fight, in every game, even at 60 minutes, like level 30 full build. I'm always out of mana by the end of a fight. But I don't know, it's just fun. Give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Everyone's lost a Dota game before having a good time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this portion of the guide. I do like to include an example game from my stream that I'll comment and dub over. explaining my thought process on the hero and like what I do in game and like the different stuff I'm going
Your
over.
bottom
So if
tower
that
is
was
under attack.
all you were looking for, is just this part of the guide. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day. And I hope you win a lot of Dota games. Happy birthday.
Your bottom tower
Otherwise,
is
if
under
you're
attack.
sticking around for the YouTube example video guide, Queen of Pain being Google Images, I got you. Don't
Your
worry,
middle
we'll
tower is under
be right
attack.
back. Toodles. All right, hello, welcome back to the replay portion of the Queen of Pain guide, most anticipated guide of 2025, even 2024, most of 2024. It's just been long anticipated, long awaited, finally here. Anyways, moving on. In this game, I played mid against someone who was rank 160 or up, the Storm. He was pretty good. I did not do the greatest in lane, but I did okay. Just like a little bit of a spoiler, like we ended up going kind of even later on, but the early lane was definitely rough for me. He played the lane very well. My hat is off to him, but this is probably perfect example game, simply because I don't just start the game like 20-0 and it's just the enemy team can't fight back, they're all useless or something. It's like a really competitive, not necessarily comeback game.
Prepare for battle.
I would say we weren't in the greatest spot in the mid game, but it was just a nice game. So I started 3 branch. That's pretty normal. Did a little smoke
30
play.
seconds to battle.
I don't think anything comes of this. I played this game a day or two ago. I don't remember anymore now, but so I mentioned this while I was playing. I believe I accidentally got the range creep in front. Yes. This is a disaster for many reasons. I'm not going to go into too much like mid-lane matchup depth, but essentially whoever has more creeps can play more aggressive because the creeps won't fight them back. The range creep does like the most unavoidable damage, especially from 2 range heroes, as you'll see. And I have to play really passive, basically, once this happens. So once that range creep's dead, especially when he's on his hill like this too, if I go to hit him, the range creep and the Storm can hit me, and maybe he can even cast a spell. And the melee creeps will start chasing me. They'll start chasing him too, but he's in the comfy tower aura. I have a range creep hitting me, which is kind of like 50% of Storm's damage. That doesn't necessarily work out with the math that way, but it feels like it anyway. So I'm just chilling. It sucks. Probably going to have to just let the range creep get denied. Just trying to get whatever I can here. And now this happens. And having a whole creep wave under your tower isn't the worst if you can bring it far back, because then Storm's going to be too scared. But this, when the creep wave meets under your tower, it's kind of spooky. Because here, he's going to attack. He's very good, right? Like rank 160 Europe's like probably 14k MMR or so. At least high 13k. If not close, maybe mid 14k. I don't know MMRs anymore ever since all the inflation, but he's standing in a spot where the tower won't aggro to him while he's hitting me, because the aggro range is smaller than the attack range. So he can harass me for free while messing with my CS and just hitting me a lot. Not fun. He's also just CSing very well. And probably the worst possible start you can ask for. So, if I was playing QoP, okay, and my CS was 6-3 and the Storm was 2-0, I would heavily consider putting 2 points in Shadow Strike and trying to bully him out of the lane a little bit. But it's important to adapt on the fly. These were miserable 2 waves, and the first 2 waves decide a lot of who can like really take control of the lane in these more even skill-based matchups. So from here on out, it's just get to bottle, max E, farm, play a little safe. Not necessarily damage control. I'm not thinking like, oh, we can't win anymore. But I'm not trying to kill Storm. I'm not trying to stop his farm that much. I am just trying to exist.
First blood.
Another wave where my range creep's dead, so he can also just send remnants at me when I'm about to last hit, which is very annoying. Yeah, not my best laning. It's got to be said. It gets a little better. It gets a little better. It always gets a little better after it gets bad, you know? Stick is good against Storm. I'm not going to finish the full wand. I do want some stats. I'm going to go stick into Null Talisman. Once my stick gets some charges, I'm probably going to fill it up into a wand so I can get 20 charges. That'll help me a lot if I get dived. I'm probably going to hit 6 second in this lane, which is not ideal. Or if I get ganked by anything, that'll help a lot. A raindrop will help a lot later if I believe I get one at some point. But yeah, like, as you can see, you know, 19-5 versus 12-2 is not good. It's not, you know, I'm not happy about this, but it was, what was it, like 6-3 versus 2-0? So a lot of that lead is from the first 2 waves and then a little bit of bleed over, but it hasn't, like, completely gone off the rails yet, I would say. Like, I'm still hanging in there. I have enough levels to just spam abilities to get CS now as well. Could have probably got more CS on that wave, but that's okay.
Dire's courier has been killed.
I'll tell him this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Level 5, you're basically chilling. You can just
Dire's
spam your
bottom
E,
tower is under attack.
win most trades. You can see he's also getting pretty low. I believe I checked his resources at some point. He had a lot of stick charges or something, yeah. So I wasn't going to kill him anytime soon necessarily, but...
Dire's
You can see the harass
structures
for
are
me is
fortified.
adding up. Like, I was like, oh, I probably can't kill him here, but... At some point in the lane, I like to buy a Clarity. I wasn't able to fit one in this game, but at level 5, you pretty much want to spam your E off cooldown. You can see how, like, how much mileage I'm getting out of that. Similar to how he was spamming the Remnant on me earlier when his was a lot more cost effective and easy to land on me. Having mana to do so is really important. And again, like I said, a lot of this, if I was doing even just a little better on CS, and I'm closing the gap a little bit, I might just have enough mana to kill him with my 6 as well. Like, if I could have had a Clarity or 2 by now, on top of this raindrop, maybe full wand, maybe spent a little bit less mana on CSing. Denies are almost even, but still down quite a bit of CS, yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
So he goes to base. 6 timing didn't matter. I don't know why Zeus took the rune. I actually don't know at all. Maybe he was going for a kill? I think we do kill him here or something weird. No, Zeus just dies, but he finds the ward. I found that I was, like, really weirded out by that. It sucks also because Zeus can't fill bottle for me anymore. They removed that out of the game, so his death is just a complete feed. Something that's, like, interesting to note is Storm has 2 kills, right? I don't even know when he got the first kill. Did he start with, like, a first blood or something? Am I crazy? I don't... He got 2 kills at once? Oh, he's top. What am I smoking? He literally just went top while okay. I didn't even notice. I probably didn't notice in the game either. So he killed, yeah, okay. But like I said, I'm like still doing good on network. So it wasn't, you know, out of anyways, enough yapping about the lane. The lane is pretty much over now. Looking to use my ult somewhere, looking to get some action going, playing for the rune, getting his ward. Even get the rune. And I just want to say one last thing about the laning phase. Just, if the early waves don't go well, play for your bottle, just, you know, chill. Play for your timings. My level 5, I spammed my E on him. It went pretty well. You know, you can usually just catch up through 1 kill. Like, winning the lane only matters if you can completely zone the enemy laner or you're getting kills on them. You should still be able to get your farm even if you do not so great in the early waves. It's very important. Just being able to
Dire's
chill.
bottom tower is under attack.
Perfect opportunity to just ult some fools. The Muerta owned me there, I'm not gonna lie. I got fucking cooked.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower. Radiant's
Oh, this
middle
was
tower
tragic. I remember this. Both of them lived. How, like 1 HP on both? For real?
Radiant's top tower
Finally
is
a
under
kill.
attack. Radiant's bottom tower
Just scaling.
is
I
under
do go
attack.
for boots this game. Like I mentioned in the earlier part of the guide, I don't like finishing treads in lane unless I'm the ones like dictating the CS. I'm crushing the CS. And I only like getting brown boots if I'm playing more like this style, which is pretty normal, I would say, is just playing to kill the weaker side laners instead of trying to kill the big, strong Chad in the mid lane, who's, like, we're both level 9 pretty much in this game. Everyone else should be around level 5 or 6. Maybe the carry is a little higher. And, like, I guess our Mars is huge as well, but it's much easier to just scale from kills on the weaker heroes, whether it's supports or whichever core hero is doing worst in lane if they're out of position. Like, Legion is close enough to the tower for me to blink ult. I'm going to go do that if my ult's up, or in this case, I just had a DD rune. Take the tower afterwards. Bada bing, bada boom.
Tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Almost a good trade there. I don't know if the ult was worth it, especially when Storm got a regen. That was pretty heartbreaking. Regen into a literal million kills. I felt like, what's that basketball anime that everyone liked back in the day? What was it, like Iomine Daiki or whatever, Miracle?
Radiant structure.
It felt like me and Storm were just like literally going like the, what is it called? We're going mode Zona. We're going mode zone. We're just both ganking the lanes over and over again.
Radiant's middle tower is
But he got way more kills than me. I would say he's lucky. I don't know. I'm just gonna say he's lucky. Just lucker, actually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay. My team bails me out pretty hard here. I remember seeing this and like kind of baiting it too. I remember walking into them knowing they were there already, and then they TP'd in on Mars. I think that we called it out that it was happening. One thing that's confused me so far about this game is Storm has 5 kills and 61 CS. I guess my 82 CS and 3 assists are just we killed towers, maybe 3 towers. Is that why I'm richer by so much? But yeah, like I think he's playing really well. I think he played a little better than me. He's higher ranked than me, of course. I think I'm doing pretty well myself. I'm not having a terrible game. But just like moral of the story, this game, I don't want to be a broken record, is if you're doing bad in lane, just don't let it affect your mental and just play a normal game. Like, it's not a big deal, you know?
Radiant are scanning.
Unless you straight up die in lane, you can always just come back, even from experience. If you're low net worth but still have your ult or whatever, you can still do stuff. The only times it really feels like you get really far behind in Dota is when you're dying and missing a lot of XP. This was a really good kill, actually. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I think with the Zeus ult scouted him. And I was like, oh. And most people would be like, that guy's full HP. I'm never going to kill him. I'm just the Queen of Pain. Like, I need a +1. I don't have a stun. Nah, the Dagon timing, the haste rune, like, this is the freest kill. Also, I don't think I get this kill without the Masochist fasted. That's how big a deal it is. Really funny as well. I don't think he ulted, right? I think my raindrop got popped by me Dagoning him, which I didn't know actually worked that way until just now. Forces a TP as well. Solo kill their carry. Top net worth guy. Now I'm top net worth. The law of the jungle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I shouldn't have fast forwarded that part, but just to showcase as well, like, see how low I am? I mean, I got the Shovel Dream, but Dagon and a Creep will heal me to pretty much full as well. Just such good sustain with this spell. Which is ironic, because your spells do damage to yourself. I don't remember. Oh, I think I feed here for sure. But Muerta was cooking me this game. That was such a good position. I'm gonna go back and watch that actually. Like, where did this guy come from? He was just ready with a ward, I guess. A very good positioning on Muerta there. That was really well played. I got greedy trying to defend the wave. What I was gonna say is I don't remember if I go BKB or Orchid first. I think I went Orchid first just because Storm had such a big kill streak. And I noticed he wasn't going towards defensive items. Like, I saw the Sage's Mask after the Kaya. And even against the Muerta or the Legion, the silence is pretty good. Because Legions tend to go Aghanims over BKB these days. Oh, we got the huge streak. That's massive. This guy tried to juke me too. Not happening. Most important takeaways so far is look at my CS, look at my net worth. My kills are okay. They're not great. They could be better even. You know, the Muerta clowned on me when I tried to gank the top lane, and then bottom lane they both lived with like 10 HP. But this is just a classic mid lane snowballing. Both mid laners are snowballing this game even, but not dying in fights and just making sure I get the kills, or at least sticking around for the experience, just is so good for scaling. Not to mention just getting the free streak, you know. That was always going to be my kill. I'm the top net worth Chad. I believe I'm lowest rank on my team too. I'm just a Giga Chad this game. No, I'm second lowest. This is a decently high rank game. I get the beautiful Searing Signet and the mystical enchantment. Beautiful. You want to see this every game. Beautiful. So much damage, so much farming, so much. It's just probably the best neutral item combo I can think of this patch is Searing Signet QoP. It just, this will just keep going for your Shadow Strike. It'll last like 25 seconds if you Shadow Strike somebody. If something ridiculous. So in team fights, we want to kill supports first. If Storm overextends, I'm looking to Orchid him so that he can't get out, obviously. But ideally, if we jump first, it's on Tuskar, Legion, or Muerta. Legion is like almost a support this game. Almost. He is still a core, but like his save is really useful. And if you jump him before the duel, he's pretty useless until like Aghanims and all that. Even then, like jumping him before the duel can be pretty good, but jumping Storm first, he might get saved. They might counter initiate with the, like, I don't remember if they had a blink already on Toss, probably, but blink Snowball. They have the save on Legion. Muerta has the fear and the silence. But if we jump the supports, there's not much the Storm can do about it. He doesn't have the, or even the natures. They don't have the good save for their supports, and they're just going to be overwhelmingly comboed. Like, you know, purge the Orchid, you're going to get Ice Path, you're going to get stunned by Dragon Knight. Jump in to try and save them, the Dragon Knight might turn and stun the Storm. Makes it so much more awkward when we just focus the supports. This fight was really awkward. I remember I like hit an illusion at some point or something. You guys get to make fun of me. Both supports, bingo. Huge plays, just bingo. Yeah, I Orchided this Storm illusion. I was like, oh, what am I doing? Oh! If I had my Orchid, that would have been like the perfect team fight. It's just sad. Dementia in my old age or something. I thought the illusion was real. What can you do, bros? What can you do? I think I got Lincoln's next. Another just, don't be afraid to ult for kills. Look how much gold this solo kill on Muerta is about to give me. 518. That's ridiculous. That's like a whole minute of farm. That's like more than a minute of hitting creeps straight. So, I go Lincoln's this game for the duel. Also, I can cover my Dragon Knight with it. There's just a lot of cool stuff I can do with it. BKB wouldn't have been bad either. So here's the Orchid kind of cooking, but I think we both die here. I don't remember. Maybe I just cooked myself. Wait, what am I talking about? Dragon Knight wasn't here. That's probably why. Game started looking pretty rough here. But you just gotta trust. You gotta believe in yourself. Believe in your team. Nah, your team sucks every game. Don't believe in them, but believe in yourself for sure. We can make it through it. Oh, maybe I went BKB before Lincoln's. I don't remember.
Radiant are scanning.
I know I get both at some point instead of Kai Assange. This was a rare game for item build-wise. I would love to just have a Kai Assange instead. I'm out of mana like this whole game, I feel like.
Radiant are scanning.
Orchid does give you some regen. What is it, like 5? 3 mana regen. That's so much lower than I thought. Kaya gives so much more. Plus the Sange buff. So focusing the Tusk, it's worth the ult. Trust me, brothers. Kill the Sups. Sups rule, cores rule. Always kill the Sups. Once the Sups are dead, the cores will fall as the natural order. This was a really long fight. Honestly, the Searing Signet is doing so much. Triple kill. Ultra kill. Tusk even bought back. Right back into my loving arms. I'm level 20. Get that juicy Sonic Wave cooldown. Interestingly enough, I don't remember why I chose the damage over Shadow Strike interval. I think I just thought the game was going to slow down and I'd want to farm creeps with it. But I don't know. I think the Shadow Strike interval... I mean, I think the talent doesn't really make a big difference either way, but I do like the interval a lot. Maybe I thought they had a lot of dispels, like Muerta ult dispels. They have Legion. Tusk can dodge. Storm can dodge the Q. So maybe I just wasn't... Maybe I was just feeling the damage a bit more. But I don't think I do too many auto attacks either in fights. People are just dying to spells, so... Oh, we almost caught the Storm here. That would have been huge. These games, I'll say, like maybe you're 2 KMR, maybe 3 KMR, maybe you're even 1 KMR. These games are very fast-paced. There's almost 60 kills at 30 minutes. There's constant fighting. A lot more of y'all's games might be just more farm-oriented or solo pick-off-oriented. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of team fighting in high-rank games over the objectives, the Tormentors, the Wisdom Rooms. It feels like there's constant fighting even just over areas of the map. If your games aren't as grouped, that's fine. I actually think, by the way, this Whisper of the Dread might be worse than the Searing Signet. I'm not sure. It's actually very close. I'm just not sure. This is so good. 15% spell amp is, or sorry, it's 10% spell amp. Yeah, I think the Signet might still just be better, to be honest. But I don't know. Maybe somebody in the comments can do some huge mathematics for that. Especially with the synergy with the dagger. Canceling the Legion blink, not letting him duel. I believe I get the shard at some point this game too, because it's a decent shard game. Oh, the BKB was great. The Legion thought she could come in and duel me. Oh, I remember that blink was really bad. Like, really, really bad. I regretted that blink. Perfect example of what not to do. You know, I'm not a perfect player. I remember thinking, oh, Storm jumped in earlier. He probably has no BKB. So I'll just Orchid him if he jumps me. And I didn't even die to Storm, really. I died mostly just to Muerta and the Natures. I completely underestimated that they both had BKB still. But don't blink in. It's your escape, not necessarily your initiation tool always. You can use it to jump supports or people that are like on the edge of the fights. But blinking into multiple heroes is the easiest way for people to just turn at you and kill you. Something you need to be very careful of on Queen. Yeah, a lot of mistakes this game. There's the death defending the tier 1 tower, that death blinking in. I think there was another death where I orchided the illusion. A lot of mistakes. The orchiding illusion thing, like, you know, heat of the moment. I didn't realize he had illusion rune and DD rune. You know, heat of the moment type thing. Getting caught greedy defending the tower and that blink in are just really bad deaths. Something you want to like be really conscious of. It's okay to make mistakes, but if you don't think you're making mistakes, you won't correct it in the future. I remember the last time I played this year at a LAN was I think against NIP at Dream League, and the entire time I was like, I'm in the game. I think I was against Gyro mid. I think it was Gunner or something. And the entire game, the only thing going through my head was don't blink in, don't blink in, don't blink in, don't blink in, kite, don't blink in. I was just telling myself the whole game in my head, just because I can be a little over-aggressive some games, especially in pubs, but just that extra level of focus. Sometimes just doing not the wrong thing is better than doing right things. I don't know, maybe that... I'm pretty sure someone really wise said that. Probably Sun Tzu or something, Art of War. Mistakes are more costly than successes or something. I think he said that. One mistake can undo 1,000 bricks of Jenga. Sun Tzu. How did I die this time? I was thinking about Sun Tzu, really. My bad. I buy a refresher here. Don't do this. I thought I would have enough mana with the Lincolns. I really should have just bought an Octarine core. Synergizes a lot better. Especially like when I'm ulting waves like that, just making space for the team. The problem with refresher this game is I just don't have mana. Without an Octarine core, you just don't have, or a Kai Sange, ideally both. You just don't have mana to double ult. Especially if you don't start the fight with absolute full mana. Legion was definitely making a lot of mistakes that brought down the Jenga tower this game. This guy gave us the game for sure. Not to dox him there, but
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
His name is Fun, so he's probably just having a good time. Silence, I will say on the Shard, the nicest thing about the Shard when you're going for pickoffs is it cancels Blink Daggers instantly. So, like, when you jump heroes like Tuskar or even, like, be careful if it's, like, an Earthshaker, but, you know, heroes that blink away if you try to, like, cast your spells on them. Important to keep in mind.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I think this was pre-nerf Dragonite as well. It's so strong. It was a huge catch from Mars. I think it was Zeus actually that bought back and found him. Yeah, that was huge from Zeus. Makes up for his feed in lane, honestly. Fuck that guy. Feeding my lane. Huge ult. Huge ult. Huge ults now. And I just don't think there's much they can do about our draft at this point unless Storm buys Ag's Refresher, but he's so far off Ag's. His 25 is ginormous, but he really needs the Ag's. Especially since the Shard doesn't work with his talent anymore, really, for his teammates.
Your Shard has fallen to the die.
I've gotten a few 1v5 refreshers in my day, even like a month ago, or not even, like a couple weeks ago. My whole team was dead, no buyback. Just jumped in on Storm at like 60 minutes with refresher and just one-shot literally their whole team. They all bought back and ended. It was really sad, but I did get a Rampage like that. It's like, you can do it. It's just, he's so far away with his build. It's more single target focused, and he's not as rich as he'd like to be. So far away off being the blender his team needs. He just messed up here, trying to nuke the waves. No buyback. Probably tilted, honestly. He did really well this game. Probably played the best on his team by far. I can see the tilt. And yeah, I believe this game is going to wrap up pretty shortly. There is this, like, very awkward fight that we dived in their base. I'm fast running. Trust me, you didn't miss anything. I had 0 mana. I couldn't cast any spells. We didn't even have Dragon form up. Like, we were just throwing. They 4-man bot back.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
That was just a huge throw. I don't remember if I had the buyback here. I don't think I did. This refresher was absolutely useless. I learned that later. Don't worry. My Twitch chat got to make fun of me for that too. I think it was here where I refreshed and couldn't ult again or something. Let's see.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Yeah. I could ult again, but, you know, I'm casting so many spells. It still was good, but an Octarine would have been the same, if not better, in this case, right? Because a lot of the spells I used after refreshing weren't BKB or ult. They were those low cooldown ones, but yeah. Immediately queue up to Octarine out of anger and disgust for myself not having that one first.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Positioning in the back here, I'm like pre-clicking Orchid and just zooming all over the screen trying to catch Storm. Counter initiating the duel a little bit, but not enough damage. Maybe if I had Refresher. Kiting it out. These fights are important to kind of look at. You know, I find the Tusk, kiting him out. Just being a nuisance. And again, when I blinked or blunked, depending on who you asked, I'm blunking backwards or on the guy who's isolated in the fight so that I don't, their whole team doesn't look at me and one-shot me. That was a really good hex from the Mars. That was crazy. And those guys are erased from existence. The game just wraps up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the long-anticipated, highly awaited, whatever word, QoP guide. This is the best QoP guide ever made. Thank you for watching. If you want more QoP guides in the future, please subscribe, comment. If you made it all the way through the video, the secret code word to type in the comments is happy birthday. And take it easy.